All right, everybody, how's it going? So in this quick video, I want to share with you a mental framework that I've used to help myself achieve multi-seven figures in my companies. And it's a really important thing to do, especially if you're starting out or if you've been in business for some time, but you seem to sort of be in that spinning your wheels stage where you just can't seem to make progress regardless of how hard you work, you're just sort of staying in the same place. So if you feel like you deserve more, but you don't have more, or if you're just starting and you're thinking like, what the hell am I supposed to do with my time and my life? This will really help you. Basically, you want to centralize all of your actions and all of your sort of behavioral outputs around a goal. And we want to optimize for the goal. Now that sounds very straightforward and it sounds very like, yeah, obvious, duh. But when you actually break it down, a lot of people don't really understand it. So basically, the way that I define whether an action is good or bad in my personal life outside of, objective reality, outside of objective morality, right? Obviously killing someone is bad, right? But in terms of like what I can do on a day-to-day basis, my outputs of life, my behaviors, right? Or my thought patterns or my behaviors, they can be good or bad. So I can do a good action or a bad action. Now, the thing you have to understand if you're trying to build a company is you have to understand the difference between a good and bad action. Now, it might seem very obvious from a surface level. It might be like, oh, well, I'm building a website for my business. That's a good action. Or I'm doing this. But when we inspect the action, it might not actually be good. So I'm going to explain. My name is Charlie Morgan. I've built and scaled 2 companies, agency to 7 figures, coaching business to multi-7 figures. We're on the way to 8 figures. I make these YouTube videos to help people make client acquisition easy, blah, blah, blah. I have no webinar, no 997 course, right? Very straightforward, right? So you want to pick a goal. It could be 10K a month, could be 100K a month, could be a billion a month, whatever you want, right? But pick a goal, write it down now. You should know your goal or have some sort of indication as to where you want to be at a certain point in the future. Don't worry about timelines or any of that crap. We can't really tell the universe when to give us something. We can just give it as much as we can and then wait for it to give us something in return, right? So just write your goal down. Now, what you now want to do is write down everything that you do on a day-to-day basis, right? Just all the habits you have, all the bad ones, all the good ones in your, objective perception. And we're gonna do a little exercise, right? Pause the video, write them all down now. Just think of everything you do on a day-to-day basis. Everything from eating breakfast to showering to, playing Call of Duty, whatever it looks like, right? Here's what you wanna do. We want to define the good and the bad. So basically what this means is an action is good when it moves you towards your goal. So what it means is that by performing the action that you've performed, right, as the cause, the behavioral output of your, existence, right? That's the cause. Is the effect of that action or that cause something that contributes or is conducive to the accomplishment of your goal? If that's true, then we can define the action as good. Here's where it gets interesting because then we have bad actions, right? And I can tell you that if you do one bad action, it will typically counteract 3 good ones. So the bad, there's significantly more leverage to find in reducing bad actions and actually performing good ones. If you don't believe this is true, just try sacrificing one thing that's bad in your life and watch your business just flourish, right? What you now want to do is look at actions and ask yourself, does this contribute to my objective? Or does this behavior make my life more conducive to the accomplishment of my overall goal that I'm trying to optimize for? And the answer is probably no if it seems bad. Some examples: scrolling through Instagram, being on TikTok, going on random YouTube videos, playing Call of Duty, eating fast foods. You have to start looking at your life and your behaviors and you have to be willing to sacrifice. And I can promise you that this is honestly one of the only things you have to do to actually become successful. The universe is watching you, right? God, universe, whatever you believe in, Mr. Upstairs, whatever your perception of religion or reality is, the universe is going to sit and watch you, and it will, whether or not you achieve what you want to achieve depends on whether or not you deserve it. And the fastest way to the path of deserving something is to remove things that you fundamentally want to do but you can't do or you shouldn't do because they're not conducive to your goal. So if you look at all of your bad habits, you know what they are. I'm not going to tell you what they are because obviously I'm not you, but you know what you do on a day-to-day basis that you probably shouldn't do because it doesn't help you get your goal, right? Look at your phone, right? If you have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, right? If you have any of those, or Twitter, if you have any of those apps on your phone right now, fundamentally you have got in your immediate environment, in your pocket, 6 distractions that are going to stop you from working towards your goal. If you critically think about what those apps actually do, even if you've got one of them in your pocket within hand's reach at basically 24 hours a day, you have something that will take time and energy in your life away from the accomplishment of your goal and towards the accomplishment of the satisfaction of your dopaminergic system. Critically think it through, right? It's the same thing if you go on YouTube and you randomly go to the homepage and you think, okay, algorithm, just serve me up, some videos that I'm gonna salivate over. Does doing that move you towards your goal or regress you away? Because this is the thing about bad behaviors and sacrifice, right? When you sacrifice a bad behavior, you take all of the time and energy that you would usually put into that behavior, and you can take that time and energy energy, you can bundle it up and you can put it into the good actions that actually grow your business. Now, the best action if you're starting is obviously cold outreach, right? Or building inbound systems or creating content and basically trying to attract clients or trying to book meetings through inbound or outbound sort of platforms. When it comes to good actions, we can sort of sort them categorically, right? So for example, like building a website is a good action, but it's kind of bad because you could be doing outreach instead. If you're not doing one of three things in your business, you're wasting your time, right? So there's three actions that really move the needle in your business. Three. There's only literally, if you just do these three things, obviously you've got to do some other shit like accounting and all that crap, but realistically from first principles, there's three things: booking appointments, closing appointments, and delivering a great service or creating a great product. Those are the only three things that matter. Now, you could tag another one on, like building a team and building systems. Arguably, you could add that on as you scale. If you're doing like less than 20, 30 grand a month or something like that, like less than 10 grand a month, if you're not doing one of those three things 12 hours a day, you are essentially wasting your time and you are not sacrificing actions that are painless. So I see people start agencies and they spend like 3 days designing their fucking logo. Oh, should I use this shade of red or should I use this like little lighter shade of red? That does not move the needle. You might think it's a good action because you're working on your business, but what you're actually doing there is deluding yourself away from an action that fundamentally needs to be took. So this is the point, people miss it, but sort of two pieces of information for you here. Sacrifice things that do not make your life or your environment conducive to the accomplishment of your goal. It's gonna suck. You're going to say, oh, but I need TikTok on my phone because after a long day of work, it makes me wind down and relax, which means like you will start, watch your brain. As you hover over that little delete button, your brain is going to start to create all of these fucking stories that, by the way, are all bullshit as to why you need it. That's the word you'll be using. You're going to say, I need this. You won't say I want it, I want to keep it. It's like, I need to keep this because it's good for me or because I need it because of blah, blah, blah. All my friends are on it, but I need it. It's like, delete it, get rid of it. Best strategy is just remove everything in your life for a year that doesn't help you achieve your goal and see what happens, right? Because if you were spending like, let's say that, your screen time is like, I don't know, 2 hours a day or something, and you wake up in the morning, you're on Instagram, and in the evening before you go to sleep, you're on Instagram and TikTok, right? Imagine if you took that 2 hours and you put that into outreach, or you put it into reading instead, or put it into a business podcast, right? Just take a look at your bloody life. Take a look at all the actions, all the things you're performing, and ask yourself, does this help me get my goal, or does it stop me from getting my goal? Because bad actions, like I said, it's not like they're just like negative, they are net negative. And there's no end to certain actions. Like if you're addicted to like gambling, for example, every money you make from your business is going out of your bank account and straight into the casino. So that's one example of an action. I mean, don't know if you're a gambling addict or not, but it's most of it, it's just death by 1,000 cuts. It's the small little things. It's like eating like bread and cheese sandwiches for lunch. You might like the taste of it, but fundamentally, come 2 p.m, you are fucking on the floor unable to work because your stomach is digesting all this crap. That's an action. Like you have to diagnose like your whole life from an actions perspective. Once you find the action that has fundamental asymmetric leverage, and what I mean by asymmetric leverage is it gives you the most power to accomplish your goal, right? Asymmetry is like small input, high output. Leverage basically means, power to move something, right? And we're moving the growth of our business. And I can tell you what that is: booking appointments, closing sales, or it's developing an incredible service. The thing is with people is they don't like the booking appointments part. Everyone spends like, they start a business and they're like, I'm just going to learn service delivery first. And I want to make sure my sales script is good before I take sales calls. It's like, fine, do that, but do outreach at the same time. Don't bother learning how to sell if you haven't got anyone to sell to. And don't bother learning how to deliver a service if you haven't got anyone to fucking service. It just is stupid. It makes more sense to do outreach and to get as many appointments as you can for the business. And then once you've got them, you're very transparent on the call and you say, look, I'm not going to charge you anything. I want to work on a pay on appointment or pay on results basis. You're going to be one of my first clients. I know it's going to work because I'm going to work until the bloody cows come home to make sure you're happy. And just start like that. Just get a few clients, get a bit of cash on board, like grand a month across a couple of clients. Then you learn the service through practice. Because this is the thing about learning things like service delivery and sales. In theory, it's fucking useless. You can learn the theory of sales, but when you're on a sales call, you probably forget it all. And the only way to really learn is by doing. So that's just a lesson that I've learned. It served me incredibly well. The sacrifice thing is the most powerful tool that I've probably ever used. Look at something, is it conducive to my goal? No, sacrifice. There's elements of this where there are going to be behaviors that you might need to retain your sanity, but I'd recommend just going fucking dark and lone wolf mode for like a whole year and then maybe come back to one or two of them. For example, like right now, I play Call of Duty in the evenings with my friends, play Warzone. Warzone 2 kind of sucks. I'd be interested to hear your opinions on that. But like, once I finish work, like 7, 8 p.m, my brain is usually like out of it. If I read something, I'd probably explode. So, you know, I usually just sit and chill and Warzone, talk to my friends. And like, that's something that I could look at and objectively sacrifice. But the point is that I sacrificed it for about 2 years to build a 7-figure company that can now run without me. And now I feel like I can reintroduce it into my life because fundamentally I deserve to have it back. Like, rewards and behaviors that consistently make you happy, you need to earn, right? And that's how I see it. Anyway, that's everything for this video. If you liked it, you can like it, subscribe. By the way, if you are really struggling to book appointments and close clients, you can click the first link in the description. There's no 997 course or webinar. It's just a video of me explaining how our product works. It might be able to help you. It might not. You don't have to click it. I don't really mind, to be honest, but at the end of the day, it might help you. And that's everything. Please subscribe because why not? It's fun, right? Boost my ego. I'm joking. But do all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Cheers. Bye.